Hey Collective and Soul Tribe, happy Thursday. It is Thursday, March the 19th. Right now the time is 9:10 a.m. So let's see what you need to know for journey messages, okay? Now, yesterday when I did use this deck, I noticed that inner child messages were showing up a lot. So I don't know, maybe tomorrow I'll see how the energy is. Like, I'll see how I feel with the energy, if there is a shift or, if I feel called to. I might do a reading that talks about, inner child, past life, all that good stuff, right? I might do that tomorrow. I'll see. But that could be very significant where some of you guys, when it comes to like your past life and even when it comes to like your inner child, there's a lot of memories that you may have, or there's a lot of things that you guys could have went through because of you being the one that is the generational breaker, basically, right? Even if you have siblings and there's other siblings about like ahead of you, or you're the middle child, or whatever the case is, it's that energy. Usually it is the youngest kid, but if not, you could be the only kid, the youngest. Sometimes it is the middle or the eldest, but it just depends, right? So take what resonates with that. Now the time is 9:11 a.m. So angel number 911 could be very significant too about, the inevitable. And I've been seeing that number a lot lately. So even September could be very significant too. I don't know why, but that number keeps coming up a lot. Something that's inevitable, like it's going to happen, or it needs to happen, right? Something about that energy. But let's see what you guys need to know. So universe, I'm so used to saying spirit. So universe, what messages do you have for the collective at this time? What do they need to know at this time when it comes to clarity and understanding while they're on their journey? What do they need to know while they're on their journey? Oh, Lord. I didn't even get to shuffle properly. Like, okay. Ooh, okay. Oh, really? All that? I just heard somebody coughing outside. I don't know if that's like somebody on their balcony and if not, because I remember I'm at like an apartment and I know sound travels. So if they're on the main floor, because I don't live on the first floor, I live kind of high up. So if they're coughing and they're downstairs, I hope they're okay, because that sounds deadly. That is so random, guys. I'm so sorry, but I had to say it because I'm just like, whoa. You okay there, bud? But anyway, let's get back to the reading. When it comes to you guys releasing, okay? Oh, and side note, before I even get started with the messages, anybody who's looking for, closed captions, okay, or the video to be translated, my suggestion to you is to go onto my YouTube channel, okay, and follow me there, because usually when I try to do captions on TikTok, it gets really weird. Okay, so anybody who is looking for, closed captions, because I get it, people from different, countries or different, speak different languages, they maybe see the video and it's in English, but TikTok maybe, because of the settings. So definitely go on YouTube if you guys are looking for, a translated version, because I know YouTube has closed captions that you can put on the video, and I know for a fact that option is available because I made sure I had it on. There's a reason why I post on both platforms, because I know TikTok gets weird sometimes, and YouTube is a little bit more solid in a sense because they've been around longer, so it makes sense. So yeah, if you guys are looking for that, yeah, definitely check that out. But anyways, back to the message. You guys are releasing at this time, okay? So when it comes to you listening to your inner knowing, there's something about you being told to release, okay? And even when it comes to you releasing, it's like you guys are stepping into courage, okay? It's almost like a light or a spark, something being ignited, right? So when it comes to this energy where you could have released a lot, like I said, this could have been inner child. This could have been mother wounds, father wounds, family wounds, okay? Whatever these wounds are, there's a lot of things that you guys could have released, and that was because you listened to your inner knowing. Now, your ears could be also ringing, okay? That could be confirmation. All right, for some of you that resonate with this, and this could be your right ear, okay? Your right ear could be ringing because you guys could be receiving downloads, right? Receiving pings, like messages about certain things from the universe, from divine, right? So when it comes to you stepping into courage, you're listening to your inner knowing and stepping into courage, you being in flow is very significant. Water may resonate for some of you. Being close to water, using water, drinking water is also significant because you're detoxing or cleansing, your body and things like that. So whatever resonates with you guys when it comes to going with the flow, it's almost like you need to move and flow like water. And I know you guys know where that's from, okay? Like flow like water, right? So take what resonates with that. But there is something about you guys going with the flow, okay? Being very courageous about going with the flow, right? And also receiving clarity about this as well. So it's almost like if you were unsure about what you should be doing, it's like, even if you say, okay, another example too, right? This may resonate for some of you. Some of you guys may not resonate with angel numbers, okay? This is like a small group of people. Some of you may not resonate with angel numbers. Maybe some of you guys do not get signs or synchronicities or anything like that. But there's a little tiny voice in your head that speaks to you, okay? That's like your narrator, okay? You could be in a room filled with people and you could be just sitting there minding your business and just scanning the room. And that little voice in your head would be like, yeah, no, it's time to go. It's time to get out of here. Yeah, something doesn't feel right. Or your body starts to get weird, okay? Like, for example, have you guys ever been in an environment where whether the environment looks prestige or looks clean, it's the people's energies that are there that is making it feel dirty, okay? And the reason why I'm saying that is some of you guys could have been in certain environments where your stomach were in knots, okay? And then the moment you leave that environment, it's like your nervous system is okay again. It's back to normal. That is something that resonates for some of you too. Like if you're not receiving signs and synchronicities, you may receive clarity differently than other people. So even in my messages, even if you receive clarity, it doesn't matter how you receive that clarity. You still receive clarity no matter what. This could be through other people, okay? Sometimes where the universe will just make you befriend somebody just out of nowhere in that time frame or in that moment because it was necessary, right? You were there to teach that person a lesson, whether they were there to teach you something or you learned something about that person or that situation. You taught them something too, or you were teaching them something. But whatever this energy is, you have clarity. Okay, you've always had clarity, right? So let's see what else shows up. Universe, divine, what else do you have for the collective when it comes to clarity? Ooh, boundaries. Yeah, there's something about boundaries, having your boundaries up. Like I said, you guys could be in certain places and your mind would be like, you know what I mean? Like, this is not it. Like, cut the cameras, okay? Get out, everybody go home. Basically, that's the energy. Like, it doesn't matter what is going on. Even if you're out and about, like say you go to a concert or you just go somewhere like at a restaurant or you just go out, okay? Take, for example, like Six Flags. Say you go to Six Flags, right? This is so random and I don't know why. And I've never been to Six Flags ever in my life, so I don't even know why this is coming up, but maybe this is someone's energy that I'm picking up on a little bit, maybe. There's something about, say you go to Six Flags or you like going to Six Flags, right? And there's a roller coaster or a ride and everybody's so like stoked about it. They're pumped. Everybody wants to go on that ride and you're just like, 9/11 on the timer too. You're just like, nope. And maybe people around you are just like, why are you being such a sore loser? Why are you being like that, right? Or why are you being such a chicken, right? And you're like, no, right? You're listening to your intuition and you're like, no, I'm not going. Something about it doesn't seem right. You know what I mean? And for whatever reason, maybe your friends do listen to you, but they don't leave you alone about it. And then lo and behold, next few days after you guys, go to Six Flags or wherever you go, it's on the news. So that's also significant too with your boundaries. Like, you have your boundaries up right now, or there's something about you having boundaries, or you know when to put your boundaries up. That could be also significant too. But you putting boundaries up is protecting your energy, you know, without you even realizing it as well. And you putting your boundaries up may, you know, antagonize people or trigger people's, you know, wounds, but that's not your job. Right? That's not your job to, you know, say anything to anybody. Limiting beliefs, yeah. It's almost like people try to put you in a box, right? And you're releasing that, you know, you're releasing this energy of allowing people to put you in a box or box you in, because you are someone who doesn't need to be boxed in. You can think outside the box, right? You think outside the box. You're always thinking about the next step or the next move. You're somebody who, you know, if there's something that's not growing, you will be the one to allow it to grow. And that could be very significant when it comes to the whisper. It's like coming out of your shell, coming out of your box, right? Coming out of, you know, hibernation is also significant. Coming out of hermit mode is also significant, right? So again, even if people did you wrong or if people treated you a certain way, you're still able to think from a different perspective that, okay, fine, maybe those people were, you know, they were terrible people, they did me wrong, right? Not to say that, you know, the collective is perfect. No one's perfect. But let's be real. 9 times out of 10 in the collective, it's usually people picking on the collective, right? Like, it's not the collective picking on people. It's usually the other way around. Like, we're the ones that are quiet. We're the ones that are minding our business. We're the ones that just want to go to school and work, do what we need to do, come home. Like, we're the ones that are like that, not the other way around, right? So even when it comes to this energy, limiting beliefs, you know, there could also be people, you know, trying to limit your beliefs as well. You know, take how that resonates with that too. And like I said, it's not your job to make people always feel comfortable. Like, maybe you're the one that brings comfort to the energies around you, right? And, you know, it's not to say this in a bad way. Like, maybe you care, or maybe you miss giving comfort to these same people, but that's the old you, right? So like I said, as we're getting closer to Aries season, some of you guys are going through this transition of nostalgia and releasing and letting go and going through, you know, the 5 stages of grief and, you know, mourning and things like that, right? Because a lot of people think that grief is only in death. And it's not true, right? Grief can be you, you know, grieving an old situation, a past, okay? You know, an old friendship, an old relationship, okay? An old home situation, right? Whatever it is, everyone has a different situation. But at the end of the day, you're somebody who doesn't try to make people, you know, stay in a box. You allow people to think outside the box. And usually when you go out your way to help people, people try to be shady or do some weird, you know, weird stuff. So now that you guys are leveling up and you guys are growing and you guys are, you know, gaining more discernment and listening to your intuition, now in this season, you'll know what to see, what to spot, and how to, you know, maneuver from it. Yeah, intuition. I didn't even see the card. Okay, so intuition is significant, right? You know, your intuition may resonate at this time when it comes to you listening to your inner knowing, right? Thinking outside the box, right? You know, even when it comes to helping people, you're somebody who helps people. But like I said, you know, focusing on yourself is allowing you to attract people who are just like you in that sense. So if you're someone who's very loving, kind, giving, like, you'll just give the clothes off your back, the shirt off your back, there's something about that energy where you could have been giving it to the wrong people. And that's why some of you may not know that feeling of receiving. And it sucks, you know, it sucks. Like, if you guys are not used to receiving, but you're the one that's always giving, 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 it does suck, because after a while you start to wonder, hey, wait a minute. Why am I the one always giving? And I don't even get a thank you. I don't even get a, you know, I appreciate you. Like, some people think that when you do things for them, that you're supposed to, like, give them money, okay? Or their firstborn, or, you know, their kidney. No, okay? Sometimes something as so simple as a thank you, or I appreciate you, you know, especially if it's a friend or someone that you know, it's like, you know, I thank you, I appreciate you, I appreciate our friendship and, you know, how far we've come. Like, speaking like that, not everybody is grateful or blessed to have friendships like that where people are able to, talk to them and appreciate them. And sometimes you guys experience these things and they get taken from you because at least you can experience what it feels like, so you know what to look for every time you go somewhere, right? It's not like you're searching for it, but you know what to expect. So if someone is treating you differently than what you expect, then most likely you're going to pick up on it. But when people are not used to being treated a certain way, they accept every and anything, right? If you have morals and integrity, you're not somebody who, does that. So some of you guys, when it comes to flow, your intuition, you guys are in alignment. You guys are stepping into the unknown. Okay, so I did mention this before too when it comes to this, right? There's something about a new day as well. So there's something about the unknown. Okay, following your bliss is significant too. Yeah. Okay, following your bliss is significant when it comes to the unknown, right? So again, some of you guys are listening to your intuition. You're not allowing anybody to make you feel like you're supposed to be put in a box. You're going to follow your path no matter what. So if your intuition is saying to put boundaries up and protect yourself, that's what your intuition is saying to you. It sounds crazy, but it's not. It's true. Sometimes you know when to step out, right? Like go outside, etc. And sometimes you stay home and you would prefer to, voila, Uber Eats, whatever, delivery service you use, right? Maybe Instacart, okay, but whatever you use, there's something about when to go outside, and it's almost like when not to. Okay, so yeah, when it comes to you following your bliss, it's almost like you listening to your intuition. You're taking that leap of faith. Like I said, you know when to and you know when not to. So for some of you guys are listening to your, self. You guys are in alignment and you guys are taking a leap of faith, okay? This leap of faith you're taking is going step by step. Okay, this is you taking step by step into the unknown. And especially with today being a new day could be very significant as well. Okay, Spirit is saying to keep going. Okay, whatever you're doing is unfolding as well. So Spirit is saying to keep going. Everything is unfolding for you because you are following your bliss and following your inner knowing or fulfillment and taking that, leap of faith step by step. Spirit is saying to keep going because something is unfolding, especially when it comes to your integrity, right? So you could be very balanced when it comes to your integrity. And there's something about maybe you could have felt guilty, right? Like you could have felt bad that like if you had to cut somebody off or, stop talking to somebody or distance yourself from somebody, maybe some of you guys could have felt bad because you're not somebody who does that. You're always there for people. But it's like for once in your life, you pulling your energy back and you taking care of your mental well-being, whether this is spiritually or medically, whatever, right? You're showing other people that every time you choose yourself and every time you choose your morals, everything unfolds for you. Okay, and that's because you're following your inner knowing, your inner compass. It's like society doesn't want people to follow their intuition. They just want people to follow the system and the system only. And it's like not everybody can follow the system because they're not meant to, right? Like you're not going to force yourself to do something and then every time you do something, it's the same pattern. Yeah, rest, right? So like I was saying, like if you're in a situation where 18 on the timer, you see something all the time. Like say you go to a job, like every time, like a new job, every single time you go to a new job, it's like a cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle. Some of you are not meant to retire in a 9 to 5. Okay, like it sounds crazy right now, but it's true. Once you start to see certain patterns, you start to realize that you are not a part of the system. You may know the matrix, but you're not a part of the system. And even if you try to force yourself to be a part of the system, the universe will find a way to pluck you out. Okay? The universe will literally pluck you out of that system multiple times or put you in situations where you may feel uncomfortable and it's forcing you to, leave or move or, get out of that situation. That is very significant, especially with pattern recognition. That's why I say you guys are, paying attention. So there's something about rest. Okay, maybe you guys are resting more, or there's something about rest when it comes to tea and coffee. And like I said, even when it comes to like your integrity and, doing things step by step, you could be resting and also you guys have that momentum as well. But people may think that you don't rest. You do. You do. You're just very, selective of when you rest, right? And maybe some of you guys have certain placements where even if you do go to bed early or late, it doesn't matter what time you go to bed, you still can get up and go to work on time and you're not tired. Okay, some people are just built like that. So take what resonates with that. But we have create and we also have emotions. So when it comes to your emotions and what you create, you allow people to go within when it comes to rest. Okay, even when it comes to like the journey and future, it's like you allow people to help themselves, right? You allow people to help their future selves when it comes to their emotions and how they create through their emotions, right? Nature could be very significant. Okay, we have flowers, so tulips could resonate for some of you guys. Okay, even certain flowers like orchids and things like that could resonate too. I think there's another flower that I mentioned in one of my other videos too, but I can't remember. Daffodils too could be significant too. But yeah, nature could resonate. Okay, that could be in the next few, weeks or so, like I said, with us getting closer and closer to spring and things like that. So even though we're transitioning into a new timeline, there's something about maybe in the next few days or weeks when it comes to the weather too, and you changing, your body changing, the energy shifting, that is significant. Being open when it comes to maybe going out in nature or just, just being more open, like I said, to new opportunities and following your wisdom. Okay, guys? But yeah, I'm going to end it here. Please take what resonates with you whenever you see this. And again, thank you guys for the love and the support. Like I always say, supporting my channel and my videos and things like that. 21 on the timer. So thank you. All right, guys. But follow me on TikTok and YouTube. Check out my website, www.mysteriouslyunique.ca, where I post blogs. And you guys can also check out, if you want to book a reading too, you can check that out. But if you want to check out my blog posts for Aries season and also us in, right now we're in the new moon. You guys can check that out right now. I have that posted. I think it's posted for up until the 20th because I think I had dated it from the 18th to the 20th. So yeah, check that out if you guys want. And also there is like a little bit of what you guys can do after. It's kind of like in the same part of the blog, but yeah, you guys can check it out if you want, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, guys. And also I have a coffee account, ko-fi, and Mysteriously Unique, one word. You guys can check that out. That is just a trial that I'm doing for the time being, just trying to see what it looks like, and if I don't like it, it's gone. Okay, guys, but thank you guys again. I love you guys. Happy Thursday, and I'll see you next time. All right, guys. Bye.